Have you heard the phrases rose-tinted glasses or green with envy or I feel blue? Now, what does it actually mean to you? Actually, in what context are you using them? Let's talk about some other common scenarios that we all find ourselves in. In the workplace, you write a proposal for a client at work or for a project that gets rejected. Do you take it personally and feel nervous about the next client? Another scenario could be you went to a few meetings at work and you felt people were just not listening to you. They were talking all over you. Maybe now you start to doubt your own ability. Is it me? Do you feel like an imposter? Have you ever wondered why certain phrases from your friend can trigger certain emotional responses from you and you think, well, you know what, he or she is a good friend of mine. Why do I get so irritated? Now, in situations like this, we give a lot more importance to our outer world. It means what is someone saying to us, how others are behaving towards us. We therefore assume that the inner world is pretty much constant in our lives and similar for everyone. In other words, we believe that the way we feel is the same might be similar for everyone else. You know what? Nothing can be further from the truth. It is often the interpretations in our inner world that determine how the outer world is going to affect us. And the more we pay attention to our inner world and understand ourselves, the more transformative our interpretation of experiences can be. Yes, this journey into ourselves can be both terrifying and exhilarating, but in the end can be very empowering to us because you know that happiness is about balancing the experiences of our inner worlds and our outer worlds. So in today's short video, let's discuss the concept of the mind lens so that you can begin your journey of self-discovery. But remember, self-discovery is not a destination. Let's just enjoy this ride. I describe the concept of the mind lens as the prism through which we view the world around us. Now imagine lenses that you would wear, but on this occasion not on your eyes. Instead, you wear them on your mind. It plays the role of a filter that connects the inner and the outer world. It can get tinted by your emotions, chipped by traumas, curved by experiences, and ultimately it impacts on how we understand our experiences, act and behave in different situations. Yes, every one of us has a mind lens, and understanding this mind lens helps us understand why each one of us would frame our experiences differently, why some of us are outwardly spoken and confident, while some of us feel nervous or anxious. Some of us might need control and others may not. I know that we all have our own little stories about ourselves that only we know, and sometimes find them difficult to understand. If you feel up to it, why don't you type yours in the comment box? We are all born with our mind lens that is unique to us. Now, originally it is determined by our genetic makeup and biological formulation. So you can understand this using the analogy of thickness of the lens. The nature, so this is the thickness, the nature of the genetic and biological aspect of the mind lens would determine the thickness. Our genetic makeup determines the strengths and vulnerabilities of this mind lens, just like the genes have an influence on our height, on our weight, and our appearance. But you also know that there is another aspect to formation of every piece of us, and that's the nurture element. So we would say the nurture element would be defined by the socio-economic, cultural environment that we find ourselves in, and it influences our psychological development. So then what would happen to the mind lens? Well, the mind lens continues to develop through our childhood and adolescence and gains curvatures, as I call them, as we grow. So what are these curvatures? They are formed from our early experiences, good and bad, through our societal and family belief systems, our cultural environment, religious influences, and interactions of all these variables. So the interpretation of the experiences and the memories formed and stored in the mind lens form the curvatures. The thickness and the curvatures of the mind lens together define the way our inner world develops and how we begin to view ourselves and the world based on, say, our values, our key beliefs, and therefore these dictate our responses and behaviors to begin with. They obviously would explain why we do things in a certain way. So these two aspects of the mind lens, which is the thickness and the curvatures, make us unique and define who we are. They also define our relationship with ourselves and our view of the world. Now, they will continue to modify to some extent throughout our lifespan due to ongoing interaction of experiences, changes in our social, political, cultural environment, which, as you will know, is also dynamic. So you may wish to reflect upon your own personality and core beliefs to understand the thickness and the curvatures of your mind lens. Now understand all the chips and scratches that affect your glasses, reading glasses, and how they might then affect your mind lens. We all suffer difficulties and emotional traumas as we go through life. Say difficult relationships, breakups, health conditions, accidents, losses of jobs, home, loved ones. The list is endless. These traumas, they will then affect the curvatures of the mind lens, which will acquire chips and scratches through the emotional experience of traumas. So you can understand now that any information that passes through the chipped curvature will be distorted. You can now see why, when we have been cheated, we struggle to trust humans again. Now then we have the colored tints of the mind lens, which are our immediate emotions generated by our experiences. Now they are our first response: anger, fear, excitement, pleasure. So let me explain how this works. I'll give you a personal example. One day I got a call from a neighbor that my home was burgled. Now my initial response was of shock and panic, as you might understand. You might say that at that time the tints of my mind lens had become grey and black. So the tints of the mind lens are our short-term emotions, and they are almost instant in most cases. They are responsive to the immediate evaluation of the experience. Now, my behavior at the time for a short period was driven by this, the dark tint on my mind lens. However, in some situations, strong emotions can tint our mind lens more permanently or in the longer term and affect our relationships. For example, when we have slowly built resentment in relationships, the mind lens slowly changes color and does not recover back to the original clear color. Now that you have started the journey of understanding what a mind lens is, I want you to do this today. Take the last experience that shook you to the core and journal the following. Did that trauma or experience chip your curvature? What tint was your mind lens at the time? How did all this change your behavior? More simply, did that experience make you behave differently in the short term due to the tints, or did it have a more profound effect on your personality, causing you to react when reminded of it due to the scratch? Or has it changed you overall, your overall outlook by adding to the curvature? Continue journaling on your mind lens to progress in this journey of self-discovery. Remember, understanding yourself and why you feel the way you feel is the first step towards happiness and a balanced and fulfilled life. So, watch my next video here, and if you want to learn more on how to live a more fulfilled life, subscribe to my channel here. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, like it, share it, tell it to all the people you know. Thank you for watching.